All right, let's dive right into this explainer. We're looking at the ultimate strategic playbook for navigating the rapidly maturing, hyper-competitive creator economy as we barrel toward 2026. The landscape has fundamentally shifted, and let's be real, operating on outdated assumptions is just a quick way to burn through your entire marketing budget.
The Wild West era of influencer marketing? Yeah, that's officially over. Welcome to the grown-up creator economy. Get this, Goldman Sachs is projecting this industry to hit a staggering $480 billion by 2027. Ad spend alone is reaching $37 billion. That growth rate is outpacing the broader media industry by a factor of 4. If you're still treating creator partnerships as fun little experimental side projects, you're already behind the curve.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the $480 billion maturation, short-form video dominance, navigating the platform wars, the authenticity shift, and finally ROI and the new rules. We're breaking this massive industry down chapter by chapter to hand you the exact blueprint you need to win.
Okay, starting off with Section 1, the $480 billion maturation and the new economics reshaping how brands invest.
Think about the old way, the transactional era, like pitching a fragile tent. You were just renting temporary attention with one-off posts and chasing vanity metrics. But in this new maturation era, it's all about building a house with deep roots. 70% of leading brands are now prioritizing ongoing, long-term partnerships. We're talking real equity deals, strict return on ad spend tracking, and actually owning that audience relationship. It's the difference between a depreciating expense and an appreciating asset.
But the survival math for the creators themselves has completely flipped. While the top 10% pull in nearly $50 grand a month, a staggering 57% of full-time creators are earning below the US living wage. To survive that massive gap, successful creators now have to maintain an average of 3.3 distinct revenue streams. And they're scaling up fast. 86% of global creators are now integrating AI tools into their workflows just to keep their heads above water.
Moving right along to Section 2, short-form video domination. This is the format that is literally driving 82% of all global internet traffic. Short-form video is now generating 2.5 times more engagement than long-form content. And TikTok is still the heavyweight champ here, commanding a massive 40% share of the entire landscape. Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts are tied at roughly 20% each. Make no mistake, this format isn't just a nice-to-have anymore. It's an absolute necessity for your strategy.
To really put the sheer scale of this dominance into perspective, YouTube Shorts alone pulls in 70 billion global views every single day. That is a number that's more than doubled in just a few short years. It's a massive discovery engine that you simply cannot afford to ignore if you want to capture any real audience attention.
But here is the catch. Because up to half of your viewers are gone in the first 3 seconds, your team has to master this exact hook checklist. Step 1, you need a visual change in the first 1.5 seconds. Please, no static logos. Step 2, get a face in the frame immediately. Data shows this bumps retention by 35%. Step 3, use short, punchy text overlays that people can actually read on mobile. And Step 4, script a pattern interrupt. You have to break that scroll autopilot and force active attention instantly.
All right, let's wade it into the battleground with Section 3, navigating the platform wars, and figure out exactly where you should be placing your bets for 2026. The crucial point here is choosing your weapon wisely because engagement varies drastically. TikTok absolutely dominates raw engagement, sitting between 2.5 and 4.6%, though yes, it faces some regulatory uncertainty. YouTube Shorts gives you immense long-form stability and high monetization potential. And then there's Instagram Reels. Now, while its organic engagement is dropped around 0.45 to 0.6%, it is still the primary driver for high ROI brand deals. You've got to match the specific platform to your specific business outcome.
And speaking of Instagram, the algorithm rules have totally shifted. If you are trying to grow there today, you have to optimize for unconnected reach via direct message shares or sends and watch time above all other metrics. Likes are great for the followers you already have, sure, but if you want to reach non-followers, your content absolutely must be highly shareable via DM. Now, we also can't ignore the massive audio boom that's happening right alongside short-form video. Video podcasting has essentially turned YouTube into the primary discovery engine for deeply engaged audiences, capturing 32% of all US podcast listeners. Long-form depth is making a massive comeback, acting as the trusted anchor for all those bite-sized, short-form clips.
Next up, we need to address the elephant in the room in Section 4, the authenticity shift and the rising consumer backlash against perfection.
Think about this for a second. It's a pretty sobering reality. Audiences can smell performative perfection from a mile away, and their trust is cracking. Only 5% completely trust influencer content today. The other 95%, they're watching with one eyebrow raised. The era of the highly polished, overly scripted corporate spokesperson is totally dead.
And that leads to this massive performance gap we're seeing right now. User-generated content ads are pulling click-through rates 4 times higher than standard brand content. But get this, employee-generated content? That is driving 8 times more engagement. Crazy, right? Your own employees and authentic customers are actually better at selling your product now than your expensive external agency.
We're seeing this authenticity play out in real time through these hyper-niche, chaotic, totally unfiltered TikTok trends. Think of the viral Pringles chocolate block hacks or the follow that tune dances. Smart brands are successfully tapping into these culturally relevant moments by working with authentic micro-creators who actually feel like real, relatable people. And right now, those micro-creators are vastly outperforming the polished megastars.
Finally, let's look at the numbers that actually matter to your CFO in Section 5, ROI and the new rules. We're mapping the big shift from vanity metrics to strict legal compliance.
It's wild how rapidly this measurement standard is evolving. Pre-2019, it was all just brand awareness and minimal tracking. By 2022, we had evolved to affiliate codes. But today, entering 2025 and 2026, the days of just reporting sheer follower counts are over. Modern marketing teams are leveraging predictive AI to calculate exact lifetime value, cost per acquisition, and return on ad spend. If your team isn't fluent in these metrics, you are basically flying blind.
And these recent standout campaigns prove that structured curiosity and empowering micro-creators deliver way better business outcomes than traditional, heavy-handed ad pushes. CeraVe used creator-seeded rumors to get a 45% mention spike. ELF Beauty leaned on always-on micro-affiliates to drive 64% net new customers. And SEMrush, they turned B2B influencers into event speakers. These campaigns didn't just buy attention, they engineered it from the ground up.
But hey, with big money comes severe consequences. The regulatory landscape is tightening up fast, and the Federal Trade Commission is now dropping the hammer with a staggering $53,088 civil penalty per violation. When you have dozens of creators posting multiple times without proper disclosure, I promise you that math gets terrifying very quickly.
Ignorance is no longer an excuse. Your team must flawlessly execute on global compliance. The US FTC demands clear, unavoidable disclosures. Over in Europe, the Digital Services Act can slap you with fines up to 6% of your global revenue. Platforms have their own strict tagging mandates now. And perhaps most dangerously, class action lawsuits against brands and influencers are rapidly increasing. The plaintiff's bar has officially discovered influencer marketing, and they are taking notes.
So the market has irrevocably matured, leaving you with one critical question to answer for your 2026 strategy. Are you building relationships, or are you just a tourist? The tourists chase quick trends and move on when things get hard. But the serious operators, they invest in capabilities, they build real equity, and they compound their advantages over time. Which one will you be? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this playbook helps you dominate in 2026.